Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to think about something strange. At some point in the next few hours, your consciousness will disappear from this world. Your body will remain in bed. Your room will stay exactly where it is. The night outside your window will continue moving forward without you. But you, the version of you experiencing reality right now, will go somewhere else entirely. And somehow, human beings treat that like it is normal. The philosopher René Descartes could not stop thinking about this, because one night he realized something deeply disturbing. Inside a dream, you never know you are dreaming. The people feel real. The fear feels real. The world itself feels real. And that led him to one terrifying question. If dreams can feel completely real, how can you prove you are awake right now? That question changed philosophy forever. Descartes became obsessed with the idea that the human mind could deceive itself completely, not partially, completely. Because if consciousness can create an entire reality every night, convincing enough to fool you, then what actually separates dreams from waking life? And honestly, even now, hundreds of years later, humanity still does not have a real answer. Long before Descartes, people tried to explain dreams in ways that felt true to them. Ancient Egyptians believed dreams were messages arriving from somewhere beyond ordinary life. In ancient Greece, people slept inside temples hoping the gods would speak to them through sleep. Some cultures believed that during dreams the soul temporarily left the body entirely, wandering through realities the waking mind could never access. And when you really sit with those ideas, none of them sound completely impossible, because dreams are not just images, they are experiences, full, complete, overwhelming experiences. You can feel panic inside a dream, love, grief, the specific relief of something terrible turning out to be fine. Entire emotional lives can exist inside your mind while your body lies unconscious in darkness. And every morning you wake up and continue as if that is not one of the strangest things a human being can go through. Because for nearly 1/3 of your entire life, you disappear. Not into nothing, into somewhere. Your brain during this time is not resting the way we imagine rest. During the deepest phase of dreaming, your brain becomes almost as active as when you are fully awake. Storms of activity, signals firing, entire worlds assembling themselves from nothing. And at that exact same moment, your body becomes temporarily paralyzed. Your mind enters another reality while your body lies completely motionless in the dark, which honestly sounds less like biology and more like something no one has fully explained yet. Some believe dreaming helps the mind process what the day left unfinished, the emotions it could not hold, the memories it needed to sort, the fears it needed to rehearse before they arrived in waking life. But none of that fully explains the experience itself, because dreams can feel more real than reality. Almost everyone has had a dream they never forgot, one that stayed with them for years. Maybe because it was beautiful in a way waking life rarely is. Maybe because it showed them something about themselves they had been avoiding. Or maybe because it felt important in a way they could never put into words, as though their mind had briefly touched something larger than itself. And then there are lucid dreams, moments where something shifts, and you suddenly realize while still inside the dream that none of it is real. Not after waking up, inside the dream itself. For a few seconds, something impossible happens. You become conscious inside a world that does not exist, and once that awareness arrives, some people can shape what happens next. They fly, they walk through walls, they create entire landscapes from nothing, and this would have disturbed Descartes more than anything. Because lucid dreaming proves something deeply unsettling. The mind can become fully aware inside an illusion, without the illusion disappearing. You can know something is not real, and still feel it completely. Which raises the question he could never escape. If your brain is capable of constructing worlds that feel real without reality being involved, how do you know it is not doing that right now? Because your brain has never directly touched reality anyway. Everything you have ever seen, heard, felt, or loved has existed only as signals interpreted by your mind. Right now, you are not experiencing the world. You are experiencing your mind's version of it, and dreams use that exact same process. Which means the line between dreaming and waking may be thinner than any of us are comfortable admitting. Then, there are nightmares. And nightmares reveal something that is difficult to sit with. Your brain is capable of generating terror more complete than anything the waking world has shown you. Some of the most frightening experiences a human being can have were created entirely by their own mind while their body lay safe and still in a dark room. And strangely, across every culture, across every era of human history, people dream of the same things. Falling, being chased by something that cannot be outrun, opening your mouth to scream and making no sound, as though certain fears live somewhere beneath culture and language and individual experience, somewhere older than all of that. And then there is sleep paralysis, which sits in a category of its own. Your mind wakes, but your body does not. You open your eyes, you see your room exactly as it is, the familiar ceiling, the familiar dark, the familiar shapes of your life, and you cannot move, not a finger, not a breath deeper than the one already leaving you. And throughout history, in cultures that had never made contact with each other, people described the same presence during these moments, a figure, dark and still, standing somewhere in the room, watching, not moving, not speaking, just there. For centuries, people believed these were demons, spirits, something that came in the night when the body was defenseless. Today we understand what is happening in the brain during these moments, but that understanding almost makes it stranger, because it means the human brain generates this experience naturally, on its own, without any outside cause, which leaves a question hanging in the dark. If the mind creates this terror so reliably, what else is it capable of creating without our knowledge? Maybe that is why dreams have never stopped fascinating us, because they reveal something we spend most of our waking lives trying not to look at directly. The reality inside your mind is not solid. Every night, without asking your permission, your consciousness dissolves, your identity loosens its grip, logic stops applying, time stops behaving, entire worlds appear from nothing and collapse back into nothing, and then morning comes, and you reassemble yourself. Name, identity, the story of who you are and what your life means. You do this every single day, over and over, for your entire life, and eventually one night, there will be a final sleep, one you do not wake from. Maybe that is another reason dreams disturb us in ways we rarely admit, because every night resembles that. You disappear, you lose control, you enter darkness, you experience things beyond your understanding, and then, if you are lucky, you return. But maybe dreams are not something to be afraid of. Maybe they are the most honest thing the mind ever does, because in dreams the mind stops pretending. It stops maintaining the story. It stops holding the careful version of reality together. And in that unguarded space, it shows you what it is actually made of. Worlds built from memory and fear and longing and wonder. Entire universes assembled in silence while you lie still. And maybe the most extraordinary thing about all of this is not the dreams themselves. It is the fact that after centuries of asking, humanity still cannot answer the question René Descartes asked on one quiet night long ago. How do you know you are awake right now? We only know that tonight, billions of people will close their eyes and disappear into somewhere, into something, into whatever the mind becomes when it finally stops pretending. And tomorrow morning, almost all of them will open their eyes, sit up, and pretend nothing strange happened at all.